So hello everyone, a warm welcome to you all this frosty day. And yeah, just wanted to start off by saying that the Life Coach Directory is all about attracting clients and helping coaches to do this. So in line with that, we have our lovely guests today, Dawn Campbell and Ruby Maguire, and they're going to be talking about their book, How to Win and Keep Clients, and also talking about accreditation. So we work with the International Authority for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. I'm not going to repeat that again, so I'm going to say the IAPC&M. But we work with them as one of our professional bodies because we're all about promoting the quality of coaching. And as part of that, you know, a big part is about how to attract clients. And this is just a really good partnership in terms of, you know, bringing some new information to people. So let's just see what they have to say, I guess. So Dawn and Ruby, can I pass it over to you? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Jay. So I think we'll just turn our videos off down the side now that you've met us, because I don't want it to obscure any of the information on the slides. So I'll just get rid of that, stop the video. There we go. So I'm Dawn Campbell, Director of the IAPC&M, and I'm here with the lovely Ruby, she's got a bigger photograph than me because she actually wrote a whole grown-up chapter of her own in our lovely book, How to Win and Keep Clients. Hello, Ruby.
Hello.
So that's us, and we're with you today to talk about how do you win clients, and more importantly, how do you keep them. And as I was just on a conversation a few minutes ago before coming onto this call, it's really important as a new practitioner that you just think about getting properly trained, getting insured if the insurance is available in your country, becoming professionally accredited, and perhaps investing in yourself, continuing to invest in yourself with a personal coach to, you know, help you on the road to getting a business. But essentially, what we're going to be focusing today on understanding the difference between accreditation versus certification, and why your accreditation status matters, not just to you, but also to your clients, because as we said, it's about how do you win and keep clients. What are actually the benefits of accreditation anyway? How do you do it, and when to apply? So without further ado, we'll kick off. So Ruby.
I'm going to ask you a few questions around it just to keep it nice and relaxed. So just share with us, what's the difference between accreditation versus certification?
I mean, yes, you're absolutely right. Keep it nice and relaxed, because that's what coaching is. And I think people quite often forget it's just having a conversation, isn't it? So that's what we're doing today, having a conversation, a virtual conversation with all you lovely practitioners out there. So accreditation versus certification. Accreditation is higher than certification. Accreditation is about pulling everything together. So I'm not going to read word for word what it says on any of the slides. You can have copies of those. I see it as the cherry on the cake. So you've been and got trained, and you might have lots of different trainings. Accreditation pulls all that together. So it verifies all your training, it authenticates your qualifications, it assesses your experience, and then you become accredited. So a typical example, as I've said on this slide, is in the field of education. Students all around the world, they go to universities, they get their degrees. It's a form of certification. But it was the actual university themselves that had to submit their course to a higher body to have it accredited, in order then to say, I meet these standards and I can offer this qualification and give you a certificate or a degree. So then when you become a professional and you pull all this together, you go to a registered national body who gives you accreditation.
I think it's really important as well, Dawn. I know when I first started out, you start off with all your coaching skills and you think, you know, you're doing the right things. And I think once you go through the accreditation process, you actually can confirm and validate to yourself that you're doing all the right things, that you're working from a safe space for your clients, that you're following all the things that you need to follow in terms of your accreditation. And it validates. I know you asked a question on the IAPC&M page recently about, you know, what benefit was it? And it is that feeling that you are acting with integrity, I think, in what you do. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, and being part of something international, bigger than yourself, gives people a lot of confidence as well.
Definitely. So, share a little bit more with us of why accreditation status matters then.
Well, I think there's two areas to look at. Is the accreditation status matters to you as a practitioner, kind of, you know, what you just said, Ruby, that and more. It helps create that all important differentiator. And when you think, if we look at the UK market alone, there's 130,000 people calling themselves coaches. It doesn't mean they're properly trained, it doesn't mean they're insured, and it certainly doesn't mean they're professionally accredited. So if you are properly trained and you are insured and you are professionally accredited, just think how you can use that from a PR and marketing point of view to stand out in a very crowded market and help your prospective clients identify with you as best in class. So it's somebody who has agreed to follow a professional set of standards. They've signed up to a professional code of conduct. And it's pulled together, as I said in the earlier slide, you know, the training, the certification, the experience. It's all about demonstrating that capability that you can deliver coaching skills. And it gives you a certain amount of credibility in the eyes of a client. The same as if you were hiring, I don't know, a driving instructor or a solicitor or an accountant. You would look and do your due diligence as to, is this the right person for you? Are they actually capable of doing the job? Are you going to get a return on your investment? So people who are professionally accredited are saying, I care about my clients. I'm supporting and protecting their welfare. Let's face it, coaching works with a client's mind. It's about protecting their well-being and their hard-earned cash. So from a client's point of view, accreditation is important because it gives them confidence that they can go to a national registered body like the Life Coaching Directory, that these practitioners have met a certain standard, and these are the people that they want to work with because they feel that they can deliver what it says on the tin, and that's coaching, mentoring, supervisory, or whatever it is that they're hiring.
And I do think there's more people asking. I know when I first became accredited, very few people would ask, and I've had a lot more asking to back up. So what is it you do? Who did you train with? Who you accredited with, etc., etc. So I think it does definitely improve your credibility as well, as you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, increasingly, and I'm sure Jay's team finds this at the Life Coaching Directory, is that increasingly the public are asking more questions. You know, hardly a week goes by where I'm not getting an inquiry to say, is this coach really accredited? Is this coach training course really accredited? They have increasingly complex needs, and they're becoming increasingly aware of their rights and want to protect themselves. So yeah, this is growing in the minds and awareness of clients.
And Dawn, just to add to that as well, if you're looking at something like our directory, then obviously you're going through a number of clients at the same time, or sorry, a number of coaches at the same time to actually, you know, look at their profiles. There's got to be almost like an instant hook to, you know, have a reason for someone to actually stay on your profile and actually say, why is this coach someone that I'd actually like to read further on their profile about? And just seeing that badge sometimes actually does lend a massive stamp of approval.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas when they come to our directory, they're all accredited, but then they're breaking it down into which geographical location or which niche, etc. But yes, you're absolutely right, Jay. On your directory, the more things that they can look for that creates that differentiator, the more likely you are to be found. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. And it's not just about the, you know, the accreditation for you. There's other things, there's other reasons to actually join somewhere that's an accreditation provider. So what are the value added benefits and the return on investment, the ROI?
Yeah, well, I would split them into two main categories. One on the left-hand side is the business of coaching, and that's a complementary self-teach 12 modular business program. And we created this because what we realized was that the coach training providers were turning out excellent coaches, but they didn't necessarily have the business acumen a year down the road to have a thriving coaching practice. So we realized that there was a massive skills gap that we could plug. So the master and fellow coaches and various other experts in their field got together, and they've put together this complementary program that all our members have access to. And then on the right hand side, you've got the CPD. So on a regular basis, probably if not once a month, sometimes twice a month, there is a CPD business building based type of webinar for people to join. So you're right, being accredited is one thing, but actually over the last 2 years, an evolving list of benefits and return on investment has grown out of that, so that we now have a downloadable and evolving downloadable leaflet on the website, which is in the middle. And all of this beautiful information is communicated through the weekly bulletin. And then right in the middle, you've got Ruby and her co-author's lovely book. So now we're in a position also to say that some of our authors, some of our accredited coaches who have been there, made mistakes, come through at the other end, and are successful practitioners. So they're walking the walk, talking the talk. They've actually written a handbook. So that's something else our members can get at a discounted price. And I know you're going to talk about that in more detail. So over to you, Ruby.
So how to win and keep clients is probably the golden question that every coach out there wants to know. And I know when I first started out in business, I was looking for this secret. There were all these webinars and things about the secret to this and the key that you could unlock to grow your business and everything else. And the truth is, there's lots of different strategies, and it's this book has really condensed the knowledge of all of our, all of our experience over the years, and shortcut the journey essentially for you of different strategies that you can use to grow your business. Some of those are practical, some of those are spiritual, some of those mindset related, all different ways in which you can win and keep your clients. So I thought it might be useful just to walk you through a few different elements of the book and the kind of things that the authors are covering, just to give you a little bit of insight and to raise your awareness of some of the kind of things you might want to be thinking about. So we kick off with lovely Adele, who gives a formula for winning and keeping clients. And, I love her a bit here where she says to win clients, you need to be authentic, because it's so easy when you go into business to try and be all things to all people, and you end up changing who you are to actually morph into this person that you're not, and make that unique difference. A bit like Jay was saying in the live coach directory, if you want to stand out, be you, because that will be the thing that will make you different. She talks a lot then around trust, and she shares some really great questions and examples of how to work through your values and to really build that trust with for your business, the trust in the industry, which obviously we've been talking about with the accreditation, and trust for your business as well. And she talks as well all about how to make sure you keep your client protected. And again, that comes back to accreditation in the industry, showing that you're not just somebody who's rocked up and said, I remember I had somebody message me and said, what coaching qualification have you got? And I said, well, I haven't. I said, okay, so what brings you to the idea that you want to work around coaching and that kind of thing? Well, I've been able to help a few friends and I asked some good questions. It's like, but that's not coaching. Yes, you can ask questions, and as friends we can ask good questions, but coaching questions, we know the line between coaching and counselling. We know the right questions to ask to dig deeper, to uncover, and there needs to be that trust within you and your clients. And that's where this accreditation element comes in. And Adele talks about trust in the industry, as I say, and in business and in you. We then come on to Lorna, who brings a spiritual side to it, which is really brilliant because it's all about law of attraction. Don't know if you're into it or not, but it's a really insightful chapter, and she's created some fantastic journaling questions. So when I was going through, I was kind of looking at them thinking, oh, they stopped me in my tracks of doing things slightly different and thinking differently. So lots of really great journaling ideas, and how, you know, she talks about searching for your spiritual business partner. So it's not just having partners in business, as in like partners with the co-authors or partners with life coaching directory, etc. It is about searching for your spiritual business partner, which is your higher self. And she goes into some ideas and thought processes around that, and how you can really create success when you co-create with the universe and bring into your business the law of attraction. We then come on to Ali, who talks about the mind game, and one of was a couple of things from his. So one of his is swap out successful, the word successful, for effective, because sometimes we get blocked by the word success and we don't really know, you know, everyone says what their version of success is. I had a client literally this morning, or one client saying they want to earn 60,000 a month, says they're not motivated by money at all. That is not success to them. So he says, you know, swap that word successful for effective. His background is actually in acrobatics, and he's got an amazing, I don't want to spoil it for you because it would be like watching a movie and then telling you the ending. But he's got an amazing analogy around fear. And it's really made me think about fear much differently to how I ever would before. Some of the things that we think are scary, not at all. So I would encourage you to read his chapter, but his is all about mindset and being a leader. And again, lots of practical examples of how you can, you know, questions to stand out from the crowd and be outstanding, as he says. We then come on to Anna. So Anna talks about pathway to success, and she shares a lot around sabotage and conditioning, and how we can really sabotage ourselves if we're not careful. So kind of following on the line of some of the fear as well, talking through some of the fear and how that can be a source of sabotage. And she shares some really brilliant case studies with you to help really build on that message that she's sharing, and some practical examples as well, you know, around creating your brand and differentiating yourself, and you know, being flexible with how you build your business, really. We then come on to Maria, who talks about heart-led marketing, and she has got loads of different strategies. She shares with us a PAVE model. Again, I'm not going to share it with you, I'm going to leave you a bit of intrigue. 4 key components that she uses, which is a brilliant solopreneur success model. So she walks you through those, and she gives some brilliant ideas for almost delighting your clients, different things that you can do to keep your clients coming back. It's not just about winning them, but it's about keeping them as well. So she shares lots of different practical examples of how you can, you know, build your network, build PR opportunities, all of those kind of things. But also some things about how you can delight your clients, which is lovely. Then we'll come on to my section. So I talk about fear to fabulousness. So you can see there's a common thread here amongst us coaches, where we have the fear and we need to feel that. As Susan Jeffers was here to say, feel it and do it anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. But I've shared a strategy of how you can work through your fear. And then I've talked to you about, you know, how to get visible and profitable in your business. So my last few years I've been working around visibility. I've now sort of moved into combining that with leadership and mindset work with my clients. But to be visible, you need to know 5 things, and I share a model in the book around what those 5 things are. I talk about dreamers. So it's not clients, for me it's how to attract dreamers into your business, those people that excite you enough to want to jump out of bed and go and help and support them in every way you can. So that's for me. And then the last chapter is from Monique, and Monique, she talks about better time management, and she's got a strategy in there where she's sharing a system with you that will save you at least 2 hours a day. And she shares lots, you know, a case study, not lots of cases, it's a case study walking you through a whole process of bringing systems into your business. And you need all of these different elements. So drawing on the spiritual, drawing on the trust element, all of these different things will help you to grow your business. I think one of the things I love about the book, because I'm biased, obviously I've done my own chapter, but I've still read it as a reader, as a book, as if I was buying a book from somewhere else. And what I love about it is it's concise, it's got some really practical information in there, there's mindset shifts in there for you, it helps you to you know, you can literally flick open a page and do something practical on your business, and you can do some journaling, and there's some exercises in there. It really is a one-stop shop for you in terms of growing your business. I genuinely wish I had this when I started out, because I could have shortcut so much my journey. But, you know, at the end of the day, we all have our own journeys that we have to go through. So I like to say you're exactly where you're meant to be right now. So I hope you a little bit of a walkthrough on how to win and keep clients. Dawn, I'm open to any questions you want to ask me, but I just wanted to share an element of each of the different chapters so people get an insight into the kind of things that we talk about in the book.
Thank you for that, Ruby. I mean, it's worth saying it's written as well, not just by accredited practitioners, but an international team. There was somebody in Italy, somebody in Jamaica, somebody in the States, people in Scotland, and coaches from the UK. So it has that international feel. And I think it's what we've been told by business leaders who have written great testimonials on the back of the book, is that it's a unique book. It's a book for doing business in the future. And to quote Maria, you know, about the heart-led coaching, it's just about having a conversation, isn't it? That's what coaching is all about. It's about respecting the other person. It's about listening to them, and just putting yourself in their shoes. So whether it's sales or any other aspect of business, if you think about it from some of the perspectives that, you know, Maria and Adele and Ruby have said, you're going to win clients. Because I remember the lovely Peter Thompson, who has done a couple of presentations for us at the IAPC&M. He's the UK's most prolific online content provider. One of the things he said was that there's two types of buyers out there. There's transactional customers, and there's relational clients. And your transactional customer is somebody who's going to hop around on Facebook looking for the cheapest or the free answer to their solution. The relational client wants to sort of get into bed with you. They want to understand who you are. They might find that, yeah, you're a little bit more pricey than I was wanting to pay, but you know what, I really like you, we click, we gel, I'm going to hire you. And they will become a client, because as we know, it costs 10 times more to find a new client than it does to keep an existing client happy. So when you think about the amount of effort you've got to put in, day out, topping up that pipeline of new prospects, when actually you could just look after your existing clients better and have relational client relationships, then you're going to have a more thriving business than if you're continually topping up this pipeline, not looking after people, and they're dropping through the bottom. But I would just say, sorry, Ruby.
Sorry, Dawn. Carry on.
I was just going to say, Ruby's alluded to the fact that this book is jam-packed with strategies and exercises. So we are bringing out a PDF workbook, probably early next year. So it is going to be your journal. So whether you're a new practitioner or somebody who is struggling to take your business to the next level, and you've been doing this for 2 to 3 years, this workbook will be your journal where you can monitor your success and benchmark what's working, what needs tweaking, and so on. So that's something else to look forward to next year. But right now, you can go on Amazon and buy it. I think it's something like $12.99 before it goes up to $19.99.
Following on from what you were saying, Dawn, about the selling and relationships and that kind of thing, one of the things I say to my clients is forget selling. Just think about building relationships. So you're speaking to somebody on a discovery call and that kind of thing, and maybe they don't sign up with you. That's okay. Just remember something about that person. Go back to them, follow up with them in, you know, with a blog post that's relevant to them, or something that will just help you to build that relationship. I would say the majority of my, you know, obviously I do lots of marketing, so I am visible, but the majority of my clients come to me because I've had relationship building conversations with them over time. And that can, you know, it could be a couple of months that you're chatting to them, it could be a couple of years that you're chatting to them. They're all at different levels at different times, but by building, just releasing that pressure off yourself and just thinking, I'm just having a conversation and allowing it to go wherever it's meant to go, it really does free up space. And what it also does is it doesn't have that needy energy that we can often have. We might jump on a discovery call and think, this is the one that's going to pay the bills this month. I must win this client. When actually that's going to come across. They're going to know, because they're going to feel like you're hustling them into a position where they want to work with you. You just build a relationship, find out what they need, how you can help them, and offer the service that's the right fit for them. You're going to be into this space, as the slide says, building a trusting relationship, because they will trust that you're not just trying to sell them anything and everything. You're actually selling them a service that's the right fit for them, based where they are in that moment right now.
And Maria actually talks in the book, doesn't she, about that could be somebody you're sat next to on the bus. It could be somebody in the queue at the cinema. Treat everybody as you want to be treated. It's not about seeing them as a dollar signs, ka-ching. It's just about having meaningful conversations and networking like an Olympian. Have your business cards, and please use the white space on the back. Promote your offerings, put your testimonials, whatever. Don't leave that blank. But give your business card out to anybody and everybody, and you just will be surprised at how much will come back to you, because you were a nice person, you had a mindset of being of service, and you listened to somebody rather than trying to sell to somebody. Anyway, so that's
as an example of that. I just wanted to add something there.
Yes,
I had a good coaching analogy from someone, and they said, when you're sort of speaking to anybody really, or you think they may be a potential coachee, be interested in them as if you're finding out the story of their life, as if you're finding out what's the story and they're going to star in that movie. So it's like their personal life story, and you need to kind of find out as much information about them as possible, but take that level of interest as well. And I just think that's a great analogy for the kind of level of detail you should share with your coachees.
Curiosity is what it's all about, isn't it? Because you're getting the other person to talk, they feel listened to, they feel valued, and they'll come back to you when they do want to hire a coach. That's lovely. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on then.
So we get to the accreditation process then. Tell us how that works, Dawn.
Well, it's very simple. It's automated. So you'd basically go online and choose the status that best fits your background. So for instance, if you want to apply for practitioner coach, we're looking for 60 hours training and 60 practical coaching hours. If you want to become a senior coach, it's 750 practical coaching hours, and so on. So there's 4 levels: practitioner, senior, master, and fellow. So what we're demonstrating here is that we're here for the whole of your journey, not just for when you become a coach. We actually want to support you, which is why those benefits have evolved. The business building benefits and the CP business, CP benefits, CPD benefits, because we're here for the whole of your journey. So you choose your level, you pay online, you receive an email that is going to reiterate what it says on the website in terms of this is the criteria, this is the evidence portfolio you're going to be building, and then you will book an assessment call. So for instance, if you've come through an accredited training provider, then you have less work to do and you save money. You get nearly a 50% discount on your accreditation fee. If you've come through what we call the portfolio route, which is we don't know who you trained with, you're obviously going to have to do a little bit more work and send in information about the course that you took. You'll also have an interview as well as an assessment call, and that's a live assessment call. We don't have role plays, we don't have recordings, because nearly 3 years ago now, when we rebranded the business, we focused much more on capability. I think most of us could actually write, given enough time, a great thesis on the theory of coaching, but actually what we're assessing is the capability. And you will do a little self-reflection after that. That's a part of your CP portfolio. What did you learn? What could you do better next time? You'll sign the professional code of conduct. You'll fill out the standards and ethics questionnaire. And on completion of all of that, you will get your accreditation status. So you'll get a certificate, you'll get a logo, and you'll get access to a massive amount of professionally designed digital marketing material to put on your website. And if you don't have a website, it doesn't matter, because we've got our own directory. So that can be your shop window until you've earned enough money to have your own website. And if you do want a website, we've got a discounted website, same as we've got discounted insurance and so on. So your accreditation is valid for 3 years, providing you pay your annual renewal. And then every 3 years, whether you're a training provider or an individual like myself, we all have a mini interview assessment process, just to check that what was originally accredited is still being delivered now, that we haven't developed any bad habits, and so on. And what we're finding out from the feedback that we're getting in the last 18 months since we moved from a competencies-based assessment process to a capabilities-based process is that this is a real experience. So the feedback that we're getting from Hilton and many members all around the world, because we're actually a global organization, is that this is a massive boost to somebody's confidence. You come out of your coaching school, you've got your certificate, but there's a certain amount of nerves there. You've got to set up your business, and you can be really busy being busy. And then you get your first coaching clients, and it might go well, it might not go so well. But actually, when you become assessed and accredited, you think, wow, I am on the right track. I am making a difference. I now know how to set up my business. I now have a support network, an international resource center that I can use as well. So it's much more of an experience as opposed to just ticking a box and becoming accredited.
Yeah, and I know when I first started working through my accreditation, when I got my certification from coaching,
yeah,
I was saying to you, didn't I, when I said, well, I really want to be a good coach, and it's like, well, how will I know when I'm a good coach? It's like, well, how will you know when you're a good coach? It's a good question. Yeah. And there is no easy answer to that, but accreditation really does shift. Like you say, it shifts your mindset. It proves to you, if you don't believe you've got imposter syndrome or something where you're worried you're going to get found out to be a fraud, having gone through the rigorous process of the testing and everything else, and knowing and proving to yourself that you are really good at what you do, it really does change how you think, and then how you work with your clients as well. And I made the mistake actually of waiting 18 months before I went to my accredited senior coach accreditation, and that was just wasted time, because I could have been feeling a whole lot more confident for 18 months if I'd have done, but I put it off because I was worried that, what if I wasn't good enough, and all of those silly things that we all do, and we all work with our clients on. And so really don't put it off like I did. Do get your accreditation, because it does make a difference in terms of your confidence levels, and then how you come across your clients, and you will attract more clients as a result of it too.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. Well, that leads us nicely on when to apply, doesn't it? And as you've just shared your story, what I would say is apply as soon as you want to start benefiting. I mean, whether you are just joining a course and learning about coaching, why not learn business skills in tandem? Because the minute you apply for your accreditation status, and obviously at this level it will be APC, Accredited Practitioner Coach, you obviously are not going to become an accredited coach until you've completed your coach training. That said, you're in waiting, which means you haven't got your directory profile, but you still get all the benefits and all the access to all the resources and the CPD webinars and the complementary business of coaching modules. So don't put it off, just go for it and develop your business as you study. There's no need to wait. So I love this quote by Gandhi, the future depends on what you do today. And I just, before I go into that, Ruby, you just wanted to offer a little competition or something about the book that you've written, don't you?
Yeah, we just thought it'd be nice to get a free copy, for you to have the opportunity to win a free copy. And so what we would like you to do is share your best experience of being a coach What's the best thing that's happened to you since you've been a coach? If you're training to be a coach, it could be an aha moment you've had as you've been going through your coaching training. Share with us what that is. And what we will do is we will put your name into a hat, and then we will pull out somebody to win a free copy. Where should they send this to, Dawn? That's one thing we didn't agree on, actually.
Yeah, they should send it using the contact page of our website. And it's not War and Peace. It's just, one sentence. What's the best thing that's happened to you? Yeah. And then you'll be put into the draw. And at the end of the month, we will pick somebody, and they will get their free copy and the handbook when it comes out next year. So where do you apply? There's our website, and we look forward to obviously welcoming you to our growing community of professional practitioners. And I'll stop screen sharing the PowerPoint presentation, and we'll take questions now. So I can see we've got lots of people on the call. So perhaps, as people are always shy, if you want to start, Jay, what questions, if any, did our presentation throw up for you, please? And you just need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So one of my questions was, you said there's a lot of exercises in the book around, that self-discovery piece as a coach. And was there any that stuck out to you, any particular exercises that you thought, actually, that's pretty, sort of revelatory for me? Anything that, really excited you to kind of got about that self-discovery piece?
Well, there are so many to choose from, aren't there, Ruby? Because we've called it the 7 strategies because it's written by the Magnificent 7, but they've all got lots and lots of individual ones. So I'll leave Ruby to answer that, and maybe pick one of your own. I don't know.
I think for me, actually, the one was the one from Maria around delighting your customers and your clients, because I think we can get so involved in the mundane element of the practical side of make sure they've got their intake form, or make sure that we've got the questions that we want to ask, and all of these different things, or the payment process and all of those kind of things. And it's that building relationship element, taking it to the next level. What's the next thing we could do that would be a really lovely thing to do for our clients? My husband the other day, he got a brochure, really boring. He does plumbing and heating engineering, runs his own business, and he got this pack through the post. But the way they did it was brilliant. And all it was just, it was a brochure, but they put it together in this little wallet, and the whole thing felt like he'd been given a gift. And it was just the same as any other company, but normally it just gets sent in a paper envelope, and none of the fancy side of it. All it was a plastic envelope. Probably cost them 50 pence, but that 50 pence made all the difference. So it's around for me, it got me thinking, how can I delight my customers? Yes, you can provide the service and go over and beyond that. What other ways can I delight them? It could be just remembering their birthday, or it could be sending them a card in the post when something's going on for them, or remembering that they're going for a special meeting and that kind of thing. So that was one that really stood out for me.
Yeah, I would concur with that, because I always think about it as being of service. So whatever my client tells me, I'm very aware over the next couple of weeks of trying to find something that they might not have come across. So an article, a web link, so that they can go, oh, wow, she remembered me. And it's starting to build that pipeline of trust. So yes, I would agree with that one.
Yeah.
And I think, sorry, Ruby, I was just going to say on that point, that whole piece about being of service as well, it takes away the whole inner thought process. So you can place the emphasis on the client rather than getting caught up in your own mind about, am I going to be good enough as well? Because that's, often the case when you're first starting out in coaching, especially for new coaches. So it's a really good way to kind of get out of that mental game of just, oh, am I going to be good enough, and actually just be of value to the client. I think that's really important.
And what I say to the newbie practitioners is set yourself up an A4 file and call it the A file. So A for, best, when you were in school and used to get an A+ or whatever. And on those days where your mean sister, as Ruby and I call them, is on your shoulder saying you're not good enough, you could have done better, you asked too many closed questions, you didn't move your client forward, or what, are you in the right industry? You can get your A file out, and you can think, well, these are testimonials I've had. You can read those. This is my training certificate. This is my accreditation certificate. It proves I'm good enough. And then you just get back on the horse and, you know, keep going. But as you said, Ruby, it's with a mindset of being of service, not desperation, because, you know, whether it's the dating game or sales, anybody can smell somebody who's desperate, can't they? And it's just like such a turn off, so that they're not going to commit. So yeah, we all have those moments, and people keep saying, you know, if you've been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years, we want to be just like you, but nobody's perfect. We all have down days. We all, you know, listen to our mean sister a little bit too much. So an A file is really quite handy, and that's where the accreditation and your properly, you know, your trained certificates, it all comes in handy. Think, yeah, I am making a difference, one person at a time.
Yeah, I call mine a happy things book, so same principle.
Yeah. So any questions, you can just write them in the chat box. If not, I think we're more or less done, Jay, unless there's anything else that you want to say.
No, not really. I mean, apart from that, obviously Life Coach Directory is a really good place to find clients, but it's really good to do these kind of webinars in that it shows coaches that, you know, you need a couple of strings in your bow, essentially. So accreditation should definitely be one of them in terms of how you actually view yourself as a successful coach, as someone who's going to be able to win clients as well. There's not going to be a single approach. And as Ruby said at the very, very start, there's not a magic recipe to success as a coach. It's a case of, you know, sort of refining and adding these different elements to your, you know, your ability to be a coach in the first place. So yeah, just a big thank you for this webinar.
You're very welcome. I mean, that's why we recommend that our members are on your directory as well, because you've been doing this as a, you know, you're a core directory, we're a core accreditation body. So there's no point in us trying to reinvent the wheel and be in competition with you. No, we say, you know, go and join the Life Coaching Directory. They have 30,000 plus people looking at their site every month. So it's a very, very valuable tool to have. So thank you for letting us talk to you today about how to win clients and perhaps more importantly, how to keep them.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you guys here.
I'd just like to add one more thing, Jay, and give you a bit of feedback, because I work with hundreds of coaches trying to build their own businesses, and Life Coach Directory comes up a lot, and people do get a lot of clients through you. So I think it's all credit and testament to your directory as well, of the work that you're doing that's really supporting coaches where they may not get clients, they're actually getting them through your directory. So really credit to you too.
Yeah, thank you, Ruby.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.